Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here to talk about some new information we got for the third Walking Dead series that will be airing in 2020. Scott Gimple gave us some details about the new spin-off, so we're going to discuss it and talk about what this series could be about in today's video. So with that being said, let's get started. So there will be a third Walking Dead series coming to us next year, which is going to be very exciting. Next year is going to be like the 10th anniversary of The Walking Dead, like 10 years of The Walking Dead, like TV show. And it's gonna be a big year because it looks like we're gonna get that third series, then also possibly a Rick Grimes movie, The Walking Dead season 11, Fear the Walking Dead season 6 possibly. It's gonna be a big year for The Walking Dead and AMC, so I'm pretty excited for it. But as far as this third series goes, it has officially been greenlit, so it is happening. And Gimple's had an interview with Alternative Minds, which is a news article, and he said that they're gonna start shooting next month, so in July. That's really exciting. Now, obviously, they're not going to be shooting in the same area as, in Georgia where, they're filming The Walking Dead. I believe they said they're going to film in Virginia or something like that. But regardless, it's pretty exciting how they're already starting filming on this third spinoff. So if they are going to be filming next week or next month, that definitely means we most likely will be getting it in 2020. He also said that the show is going to be completely different from Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, which is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and read exactly what he said, and then we're going to discuss it. So continuing on from him saying, we're starting shooting next month, he said, all of that is with the little asterisk of who knows. Things could change. It's going to be completely different from the other two shows. We're trying to open up these new worlds of The Walking Dead to new different corners, different tones, different aspects. Hopefully they complement one another. So it's interesting how he said completely different, because The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, they're pretty similar. Like we have a group of survivors and then we have villains, right? Like most of the time it's human villains. They run into some issues with that. Obviously the walkers are a problem. So they're very similar, just different settings. So that's what's interesting, is what he's saying, like when it's going to be completely different. Like completely different how? Like, is it going to be very early in the apocalypse? Is it going to be very late in the apocalypse? Is it going to be there's not going to be that many walkers around? It's going to be more of just people surviving. How is it going to be different? That's what's interesting. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think he means by it's going to be different. Now, we do know this show is going to be featuring 2 female leads, and they also said it's going to be 2 young female leads in a different corner of the universe. Now the fact that he said it's going to be completely different from The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, I don't think it's going to be any characters we've met so far. I think it's going to be like its own little series, which I think is going to be interesting on its own. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis for the show, and then we're going to discuss that. So it says, the untitled third Walking Dead series will follow 2 young female protagonists and explore the first generation raised after the fall of civilization. So that's interesting how it's about the first generation raised after the fall of civilization. That's going to be like Judith, people like Judith who were born into the apocalypse or after the apocalypse, which is interesting. And when they say like 2 young female protagonists, I don't know if that means like early 20s, because you would consider people in their early 20s young, but you would also consider 10-year-old young, like people like Judith, like her age, that would be young. But that's what I just don't know. Like, is it gonna do like a big time jump and it's gonna be like really deep into the apocalypse, like these people who are born into the apocalypse are a lot older now, or is it gonna be like very young people? I think it's gonna be very young people. I think it'll be interesting to see them have a cast of like very young people. And there are a lot of TV shows and movies out there with a group of kids at the forefront. Like, look at Stranger Things. That's a very, very big popular show that people really like, and it's because of the group of kids. Like, the story is interesting and great in Stranger Things, but that show would not be what it is if it wasn't for the kids. So if you get a group of kids, or 2 kids, whatever, I think it's gonna be obviously like the 2 females are gonna be the leads, but I wouldn't be surprised if this whole show has some kids in it. That would be interesting. Like, you get a group of kids with some charisma, some good acting abilities, and you throw them into apocalypse. Like, that would be an interesting setting. I want to see what that is, so I do have some high hopes for this series. Now, if there's gonna be kids involved that we already know, that are already established in The Walking Dead, I don't know about that, because there are a lot of kids though in The Walking Dead, like a lot. Now even Fear the Walking Dead are introducing all these new kids, so we'll see if there's gonna be kids that we already familiar with. I wouldn't really bet on it though, because it is happening in a different corner of the universe apparently, according to Gimple here, or at least a different corner of the country or something. So we'll see. But moving on, I want to read something else that Gimple said. He said, showing audiences an unseen pocket of the Walking Dead universe steeped into a new mythology is a very cool way to celebrate the decade of the dead on TV in over 15 years of Robert Kirkman's brilliant comment. So there you go, an unseen pocket of the Walking Dead universe. So it's gonna be like a different corner, like they're saying. And the thing though is that we haven't seen that much, in The Walking Dead. Like we haven't been in that many locations. We followed the same characters around, so we've been to like a couple different states and cities and stuff like that. But for the most part, we've been relatively in the same location. So this could really be anywhere. But I would love to see a spin-off, and I don't know if this spin-off is going to be this, but I would love to see a spin-off in a different country. Now, we don't really know that many details. They just said that, this spin-off will be in a different corner of the universe. But that's something that's been very interesting to me, is seeing The Walking Dead in a different country. And that could also tie in with being completely different. Like, this is also, they also said this spin-off is only going to be like 10 episodes. Now, we don't know if it's going to be like a mini-series or it's going to be 10 episodes and they're going to extend it to 16, because both Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead started out with limited episodes and then they expanded to 16. So we'll see if the same thing is going to happen here. And if this show is going to be completely different, like they're saying, just throw us into a different country and a completely new group of people, and like I think that would be awesome, because this is a universe. There are other shows out there with a zombie apocalypse setting, so it's really about the characters and what they make of the world. So I have high hopes for it. I'm very interested in it. And when it comes to the characters, and if we're ever gonna see characters like the kids that are already established in the Walking Dead universe, because there has been a lot of kids in the Walking Dead. Obviously, we have the main show, and then we have all these new kids on Fear the Walking Dead. So there has been kids in the Walking Dead, but who knows? I wouldn't completely rule it out though, because of them keep saying the word universe and everything's connected, and now this, we have characters crossing over here, and they keep teasing to never rule out the crossovers and stuff like that. I just, I wouldn't completely rule it out. I do think it's possible that there is going to be a kid that we might know, especially if it does take place in America. I just don't know about the setting though. That's the tricky part. So we'll see. But I wouldn't completely rule it out that there could be somebody crossing over to this new series. We'll see. And Gimple developed this series with Matthew Negret, who will be the showrunner for this new series, which is pretty exciting too, because this guy has been a long-time writer producer for The Walking Dead, and he's written some really good episodes. Just recently, he's written Storm. In season 9, he wrote The Storm, Bounty, and What Comes After, which is Rick's final episode. He's written episodes like Last Day on Earth, Heart Still Beating, The First Day of the Rest of Your Life, Honor, Time for After, Indifferences, Slaptown. That's way back in season 4 and 5. So he's been on the series for a long time. So I'm sure you've heard of his name before, but he will be the showrunner for this new series, which is exciting as well. In just a couple minutes ago, I was talking about the synopsis for the new series, and I read it, but I just found this long version of it on the Walking Dead wiki. The other one was a shortened version on comicbook.com, but I want to read this one also, because this synopsis is also really interesting. So it says, this series will feature 2 young female protagonists and focus on the first generation to come of age in the apocalypse as we know it. Some will become heroes, some will become villains. In the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. So I've never really heard of that last part yet when it comes to the synopsis. I've heard them talking about, people, it'll explore people becoming heroes and villains, but the grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. That's interesting, because grown up, so if it's gonna be people who were born into the apocalypse, like people like Judith, who are 10 years old now when it comes to the Walking Dead timeline, 9-10 years old, now they're growing up and cemented in their identity. So is this spin-off gonna be 10 years ahead of the Walking Dead? That's interesting. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you think it's gonna be people who are already in the apocalypse? Because if it's gonna be in the future, I mean, what if they do a grown-up Judith or something? I don't know. That would be interesting. But again, they brought on a new Judith already for season 9 and 10. So are they gonna recast? That's something I don't really see happening. But this looks to be like in the future, which is gonna be pretty cool actually. So you guys let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions about this. Like I said, it's gonna begin filming next month. So this series is already, they already announced development just a few months ago, and now they're already filming. So that's pretty exciting. We most likely will be getting more information as the days and weeks come. So any new information we get, I'll be definitely making videos about that, so stay tuned. But for this video, I am gonna wrap it up there. Again, let me know in the comments down below all your thoughts and opinions, because this is some really cool information we got today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead videos, just hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys later.